Hey everyone, we wanted to come back and make another special introduction to you guys. Recently, we introduced Trevor Rasmussen, the new support advisor we have on staff to help out with client relationships and planning work behind the scenes. But we wanted to make sure we went back and introduced you to one of the instrumental people of our team for the past 7 or 8 months, Renae Campion. She's been with us since early 2025 and has been just such an amazing addition to our structure and our staff and being able to provide the best kind of service and results for you guys over time. So we will go through a lot of the same questions we went over with Trevor. I'm going to make her probably awkwardly laugh a couple times. This will be really fun. But Renae, start out, tell us, your name, a little about your family and where you're from.
Yeah, name Renae Campion. Married just over a year now to my beautiful husband, Christopher Campion.
He's very beautiful.
He is
man.
beautiful. So yeah, just over a year. So yeah.
Family, where you're from?
Family. So originally from Pennsylvania, but we moved down here pretty young. So I think it was about 2 or 3 we moved down here. So I would say I'm Greenville born and bred. I got a pretty strong Southern accent, so it's kind of hard to hide that. So I would say I call Greenville home. It's pretty much where I'm from.
Yeah.
I am, however, a gigantic Eagles fan. So go Birds. Always will root for them. I know we're on a high right now, so I'm loving it. I do feel like our downfall is probably coming in the next couple of years, but for right now, I'm going to ride that high with them Eagles. So
yeah, there you go. I remember a few weeks ago you came and you said, "You know what, Patrick? The Eagles won. It's going to be a good day."
Yeah.
And that's where I learned that Renae was an Eagles fan. So this is fantastic. So
and thank goodness, as of the recording of this, we're 4-0. So we're still in a good mood.
Right.
Patrick's not ready for it. If we lose, my mood the next day.
We just might close up shop.
Yeah,
that's the way it's been built up.
So. Sick day.
Yeah. So to tell us, for you and Chris, y'all been married a little bit over a year. I'm going to spill the beans on this. Y'all met at the gym.
We did.
Right?
You always date the coach. Date the coach. That gets you some really good training.
There you go. What kind of, hobbies and activities do you guys enjoy?
Yeah, probably a big thing for us. Collectively, we love pickleball. That's become kind of foundational. We actually, I think it was like one of our second or third dates. We just randomly, he was like, I just bought this cheap set of pickleball paddles, let's go play. I've never played it before. And we just kind of learned it out there. And pretty much from that moment on, we've loved it. It's become a weekly activity for us and a huge date night activity for us, making friends around the courts and stuff like that. So that's been probably one of our biggest hobbies together. Personally, I love home projects. I'm sure he would love if I didn't love home projects as much as I do. But it's really a stress reliever for me to actually very slowly and methodically make our house a home and figure out problems and solutions through that. So that's probably my personal, that's the thing that brings me probably the most joy. Also probably the thing that brings me the most stress. But I do love it. And I love that kind of finished product and knowing I learned a ton in the process and I feel good about what it looks like. So that's a little tidbit about me.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm gonna put you on the spot with this one too. So how much percentage-wise of your home was the same when Chris got back from deployment as it was before he left?
Yeah, so for the listeners, my husband went on deployment about 9 months ago. He went on deployment. He just got back about a month ago. And that was the huge stress reliever for me, was to start working methodically through rooms. And originally when I asked him if I could do it was, can I paint the bathroom? And then about 2 days later, I had completely ripped the bathroom to pieces down to the studs and said, we're starting over in the bathroom. And I thought that was going to take me, that one project would take me the 8 months that he was gone to finish. And it was about a month later, I had completely remodeled the bathroom and I moved on to the next room and the next room and the next room. So everything except our kitchen, I haven't done that yet, and our master bath, I haven't done that yet. But he will be heading on another deployment in about a year, and that's already on the docket. So he knows that. He's ready for me to do it while he is away, so he doesn't have to deal with it. So probably starting with the master bath. The kitchen, I don't know, maybe we'll have someone do the kitchen for us. That seems like a big undertaking. So
yeah, but you're going to have time to do it. So
that's true. I'll have time.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. So again, a lot of people know that we are big fans of Ramsey, right?
Yeah.
That's really a big cultural values philosophy alignment, in terms of just how we approach finances, financial planning. Tell everybody, everyone in the office has a Ramsey story. A lot of our clients have a Ramsey story. Just high level, what is the Ramsey story for you and Chris?
Yeah, so we kind of started talking about finances together right before we got engaged, kind of laying out what that would look like for us as a married couple. And we had a very long conversation about it. Coming into marriage as a joint couple, we had a substantial amount of debt that worried me a little bit during that process. And we had a very long kind of come to Jesus moment out on the back porch in this brand new lawn furniture that we had bought. Like, it's the pivotal conversation for us and for our marriage. And we look back at that moment very fondly. It was very hard in the moment, but we look back on it very fondly. And it was very much me sharing my opinions about kind of what it would look like for us to do finances together. Mm-hmm. And the same for him, what it would look like for us to do that together. And the next day he called me. It was a very hard, tough conversation. He called me and he goes, I just listened to Dave Ramsey's book and the Total Money Makeover. And this is like at lunch. So like 6 hours has elapsed since I left in the morning. And he all of a sudden,
he's listened to the entire book.
He goes, I listened to the entire book. I have now bought it for you to listen to. So then he sent it over to me. I listened to it over the course of the next week because that's a little bit more tangible. And it was from that moment on, it was, he knew kind of where my heart was at and that I didn't want to hold this debt and carry this. From that point on, he led our family, and we got in touch with you and Haley, and we said, hey, this is where we're at. We don't want to be here. We're not comfortable here. We want to pay off that debt. And we just very quickly started chipping away and kind of doing the beans and rice moment of just really stripping down our budget to those necessities, canceling the Netflix, Hulu, Prime, YouTube TV, canceling some of those subscriptions, being like, we don't use them. We don't need them. We had kind of that big moment of, we don't need to eat out. We can cook at home. We can do all these things, still have a lot of fun. Pickleball's free. So all these things that we could do, that we could have fun and enjoy each other. And it was a really huge bonding moment for us. And it was just over, I want to say it was about 9 months. I think it was about 9 to 10 months in, we were debt free, a little under 100 grand in debt that we were able to pay off and really work towards. That was probably one of the greatest moments of our marriage. And it'll go down as kind of like one of those really big bonding moments. And you always hear in these people's stories, like, you start paying off debt and then it's like the water heater craps out.
Yeah.
And then, the next thing happens and the next thing. And it is like that. It feels like that insanely. So we had like the water heater, the sewer line, our washing machine fell through the floor. Like,
I didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So like there was water damage that we didn't know about. Next thing you know, the washing machine breaks and then we start moving it. And next thing you know, it just drops straight down through the floor. And so you're sitting there like, we barely have any money to our name.
Yeah.
How do we do this? Where do we go? How do we do this prudently? And really just, I'll say having a strong partner that was able to lead through that, and really like we kept to it. We were very strict on kind of how we handled it and how we kind of went through things. We talked about money while he was away almost every morning. We were on the phone talking about money, talking about where we're at. So it feels really good to be kind of on the 4, 5, 6 step now and to have 1, 2, and 3 behind us. We're in the kind of those glory years of just kind of enjoying the decisions we've made and also using a lot of those principles that we've kind of found and the discipline that we have found to kind of structure how we're going forward in our marriage. So, and Pat was very kind of instrumental in kind of just being that validating source of, yes, you're heading on the right path. Keep going. It's going to be okay, kind of thing. So,
yeah, well, you guys did the hard work. I will never let you forget that y'all did the hard part.
Yes.
So, but we're super proud just to have Renae and Chris in our lives, and especially as friends, but also as part of our business, to be able to help other people, you guys, and people you guys know, to succeed on the same path. So they have an incredible story, and I highly recommend, I'm going to put you on the spot. If you have questions or you need an extra kick in the pants, give Renae a call. She'll be happy to talk through it.
Or if you have that big debt-free, moment, feel free to call up here and just share your story. I love hearing him.
Yes.
He'll kind of, I see him poke his head in the office, and we're with a client just talking about kind of the different things that have gone on. So always feel free to call. I'll chit chat with you about it.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So talking about, our business specifically with Smart Pro, we are one office of many offices, about 100 advisors right now in Smart Pro nationwide. I think we have 7 or 8 people through my office here in Greenville right now. What was it about, your career path that made you feel like Smart Pro was the right fit?
Yeah, definitely. So Ramsey was playing such a large role in our lives at the time, and I grew up in a Ramsey household. We didn't necessarily apply the principles to my parents' finances, but we knew of Ramsey. We knew of FPU. My parents had done FPU a couple times, so I always knew of Ramsey. And when it was kind of coming down to me and Chris having the conversation of like, how do we do this? Ramsey was the ultimate solution for us, and I knew it was tried and true and would work. So coming here, you and I had talked kind of client wise of what was going on, what we needed to do. So I had a great relationship with you kind of business wise, and as like advisor client, really loved how you address clients, how you were helping, how you were instructing, and kind of looking at the bigger picture of, all we could see was the debt. That's what we were stuck with. And you do a very good job of kind of, there is the debt, but here's the bigger picture. If we keep making these steps, things are going to be great. One of the biggest things that kind of drew me in, kind of when we were talking about a career opportunity, was culture was the biggest thing. It was not so much about, do you know all these answers? Do you know these things? Do you know these things? It's like, do you have a humble, hungry, smart was the big things. Like, can you learn? Are you smart enough? Like all these different things of like, if you are hungry to learn, you are going to be fine. And I was hungry. I love this industry. I love kind of witnessing the different, I guess kind of areas that clients are at, the different segments, whether they're just getting started or they're finally taking that step into retirement. And, the atmosphere and the culture is the biggest thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for that. I know when we had coffee one day, beginning of this year, one of the things you said to me was, "Oh, man, I don't have a degree and I don't really know anything." Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of like that,
Yeah.
because I think you're just authentic, right? And you definitely fit everything with the hungry, humble, smart. Like, and the smart is not just like book smarts, right? It's truly people smarts. And you've been in the people business
Yeah.
your entire working career. And I think that correlates over, especially as people will call in and talk to you like on the phone. You're just right in, like you're with them, like personal connection. So if you haven't had a chance to talk to Renae again, like take that opportunity.
Yeah.
Please
Give
do
me a
that.
call.
So,
I'll chit chat.
yeah, awesome. So last question before we wrap up is, what is your favorite financial planning topic? And
Ooh, I mean, just from personal experience, I would probably say, kind of that debt payoff, that snowball effect. We personally are so affected by it, and it did wonders for our marriage, and it you know, getting a couple on the right path, like that's just been kind of that key thing that's been so important for us.
mhm,
That's like my heart is there. I love it. I love to see people kind of get to that point where even if all you have is $5,000 on a credit card, it's still not easy. It's not easy to find that margin in your life to go ahead and start chipping away at that. And the way debt is kind of advertised to us now is that it's almost a necessity,
mhm,
and it really isn't. But it's advertised that, yeah, $5,000, like who cares,
mhm.
it's fine. And being able to kind of get control of that, especially if it is out of control, of getting control of that and kind of minimizing that or making that margin in your life to crush it.
Yeah,
So
awesome. I love that. Yeah, and that's a big part of what we do is as people are maybe starting out, they don't feel like they have hope, trying to figure out what is that first step. We
yeah,
want to make sure we look at those things and,
yeah.
and get people on that right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Renae. Really appreciate that. Thank you guys for tuning in and giving us a chance to introduce some of the team members. We'll continue doing this, and we want to bring you guys more videos like this. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are here for you, and we look forward to talking to you soon.